Kevin Miles, the CEO and founder of BeachLogic Venture Partners. BeachLogic is a company, a new venture creation company that operates at the intersectionality of new venture creation, spirituality, and black wealth creation. So the name of our blog is called What Problem Are You Solving? So what problem is BeachLogic solving? Well, BeachLogic is solving the problem that there's really a void in new venture creation in the black community that has a spiritual aspect, because what we're all doing, I mean, everyone came here, excuse me, everyone came here on this earth to complete a mission. We came here for something specific. And when you align to whatever that is, then the universe works with you. Excuse me. And so, and this can be said in many different ways under the sort of broader heading of spirituality, in Christianity, you see in the Bible, it says, in all thy ways acknowledge him and he shall direct your path. It's said in many different ways, but if you're acknowledging him in all your ways, it means you're aligning to your true purpose. You're aligning to God's purpose in your life. It's the same thing. There's many ways to say it, In the sort of New Age community, folks talk about ascension, and they differentiate between the egoic personality or small self and the true self, the divine self, the infinite self. That's the aspect of you, and we all have it, that spark of divine that's in you. That's the aspect of you that is always in alignment with the one true source, which you can call God. So when we talk about black wealth creation, we really need to differentiate the difference between income and wealth. Income is a means of, paying your bills, covering your living expenses, but income is not something. It's not something that you really can just pass down. A job, in other words, it's not something you can pass down to your heirs. To the people that are coming behind you. Wealthy people understand that, and which is why wealthy people are not training their children to go work for some other company. They're teaching them how to be entrepreneurs. They're teaching them how to take over the family business, to start new businesses, to cooperate in an economic way with people who are, in their social circles, in their families, in their communities. So that's what let's differentiate between income and wealth. Wealth is something that happens from the accumulation of assets, appreciating assets, things that go up in value. Real estate is an appreciating asset. Businesses with cash flow, and that's pretty much any kind of business that you can name. Whereas a job is where you're just selling your time for some money. But in order to make more money, you have to have more time, and you have a limited amount of time. So you want to multiply your time by creating a cash flow business so that it's making money when you sleep. So that's kind of the one-on-one on the difference between income and wealth. I mean, obviously, we need money to live. So, income is good too. We're not saying income is not good. We're simply saying that if you look at the fact that we as African Americans only control 1/2 of the nation's wealth, then you understand that we have not really accumulated assets for a number of reasons. And the reasons they're only important to the extent that they can inform us in terms of the way forward, and we're sort of caught in the catch-22 because the group that has the, most of the assets are the same ones that enslaved us, if you really want to put it, in direct terms. I mean, if we only control 1/2 of the wealth, and yet we're 14% of the population, then you can kind of just do the inverse of that and say, well, then that means That wealth is, if it's not in our hands, then whose hands is it in? And it's in the hands of a group that, prefers to do business with its own. I mean, that's why you see all these lawsuits. You see Byron Allen, a man who's a billionaire who owns the Weather Channel, paid 300 and something million dollars for the Weather Channel. And yet, his case is at the Supreme Court right now because of $70 billion that cable companies are spending on licensing cable networks. Black people get pretty much none of that. Even somebody like Byron Allen can't get his foot in the door. So to me, the solution is obvious. We spend $1.2 trillion as African Americans. And if you look at the GDP of all the countries in Africa, they spend $2.1 trillion. So that's literally 53 countries in Africa, generate 2.1 trillion in spending. And African Americans are 1.4 trillion. So the market is really here. The concentrated market of black spending is in America. And so it's really in all of our interest, including African entrepreneurs, to team up with us because we have the market and they really have the supply in a lot of cases. They have the labor, they have low-cost labor, they have raw materials. I mean, pretty much everything you want is in Africa. So we are creating a platform called awakenaki.com. And Awakenaki is going to create a marketplace for black consumers to find high-quality goods and services. And what we're trying to do is create, more than, let's just call it 100,000 new black entrepreneurs in order to supply the marketplace. And so what we're bringing is opportunities. We're bringing opportunities for people to plug into franchises, to bring the businesses that they have and to bring them into the network so that, on one super app, we can actually, be able to find, no matter where we are in the world, really high quality businesses to do business with. And this is how we're going to create black wealth creation. We'd like to capture 20% of the black spend in America. So that's $280 billion. It's a very big goal, but using technology and culture and the organizing principle of the black experience. We like to say that, anybody who's in black skin is having a black experience. Doesn't mean they're having the same experience, but it does mean that they're having a black experience. And this is an organizing principle. The issue, the lawsuit that Sister Monique is going through right now with Netflix. When you look at that issue, I saw one very similar. There was a woman who I think she became Miss Brazil down in Brazil. And a lot of the white folks just couldn't accept that. She was too dark in their mind to represent Brazil, which is odd because there's a ton of black people in Brazil. In fact, there's more black people in Brazil than any place that's outside of Africa. They have more black people than African Americans. So the answer for all of it is really to unify. There are products and services and things that we can get in places like Brazil and Latin America and South America, Central America. And so that's really what we're going to do. So we're gonna create wealth. It will also have a lot of jobs. There'll be jobs that people can work for black-owned companies, and that's income, and that's a good thing too. But we are also going to create a lot of owners, a lot of entrepreneurs, and we need your help. So we want you to come and visit us. Come to BeachLogicVentures.com, and also find us on GoFundMe for Awakenaki. We have a GoFundMe there because this is an early stage venture. We have the plan, and I would call it the entrepreneurial infrastructure. We have the teams, we have the plans, but we're going to have to raise some money in order to do it. And it's going to be an exciting place to be online because it'll also have content, very much like Amazon Prime has content. And that's really driving the store in Amazon. So Awakenaki Films and Awakenaki TV will really drive the content will drive the store, will drive the traffic in the marketplace, and will also create opportunities for entrepreneurs to get on the network and grow your business and find a sense of community and camaraderie and things that you need, like access to capital, like access to business expertise, to startup expertise. BeachLogic also does consulting for people who are serious about, creating high potential ventures. That's really our sweet spot. And high potential ventures are a little bit different from the mom and pop businesses, because high potential ventures kind of implies a global reach. So this is for people who are creating, technology enabled, scalable startups. If you need help with any of that branding, whatever it may be, we really want to hear from you. So that's it. So that was the class. This is the 101 on the difference between income and wealth, and why it's so important that we start to focus on wealth, which means we're just going to have to embrace entrepreneurship. Yeah, we have a lot of small companies, and those are great. But if we're going to do 20% of the black spend, if we're going to be throwing around numbers like 280 billion, it can't just be mom and pops. It has to be really large, branded, global, scalable companies. And we need entrepreneurs who are capable of, of conceiving of those types of ventures. And, that's really what we're all about at BeachLogic. So what problem are we solving? There's not enough black wealth in this world, and we are solving the problem of black wealth creation by bringing our expertise, opening up, inviting people to partner with us. That's why it's called BeachLogic Venture Partners. Our partners are team members who work for our companies. Our partners are investors who have an opportunity to participate in the upside. Our partners are entrepreneur operators who can lead ventures, because all of these, there'll be a ton of opportunities for people to lead teams. So if you're a CEO of a small company and you feel like you can really benefit from having a lot more customers and having a global reach, we want to hear from you, because those are the kind of businesses that we want to come onto the network, So anyway, come visit us online, BeachLogic Venture Partners. Have a good day, and take care. Bye.